Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for watching the YouTube video. This is a recording of me recording my Shadow Cast, the Living Shadows Shadow Cast podcast, talking about all things hidden in the shadows. So we are going to have a special episode today. Please tune in, please tune in, please tune in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share it out there to everybody else knows about this, okay? In case you aren't aware or you are new to this channel, there are some episodes of this podcast that have not had a video version, so please do check out the audio version of the podcast if you do want to hear. There's a good other half of episodes that do not have a video to them, so please do check them out. And yeah, so we are about to get started here. Hello, 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 hello. How y'all doing out there? So this is going to be an episode that I hope you all enjoy. I hope it's informative. This is something that I have just recently discovered has affected me. And I did not know, well, I knew I was affected, but I did not know that you know, it came from a family lineage thing, or it came from my, how I was raised, the thought process of it. And the thing I'm talking about would be gender identity. Oh my God, I can't even say things right now. Gender identity. So with that, I mean, like, I have cats, for instance, right? I have 4 cats, 2 males, 2 female cats. They have genitalia, you know. I realized that a lot of my not understanding, I guess, old school male and female roles comes from the fact of so many people have like these ideas for them. And so, like, my mother cannot distinguish between my male cats and my female cats. Like, I know who they are because they're my cats. Like, they're my babies, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She can't tell the difference. She always calls my male cat a female and my female cat a male. Well, yeah, that's like a thing. And, you know, I was thinking about how they constantly, like, mess up names and things like that, which I tend to think that them messing up your name is just a form of disrespect on purpose. Like, you know how many times old people are like, oh, I can't pronounce your full name. I can't give you that much respect. Like, I can't say full Devonairé. I can't give you that much respect. It's that thing. But I was realizing the other day, I was like, okay, so I'm looking at my, like, I don't see gender in my cats as far as, like, male cats doing a particular thing over the female cat. But I will say that, like, it's funny that she can't tell the difference. Like, you know, she's always been a very masculine woman. So it's funny to me that, like, even as that, like, when I look at myself personally and I look at my own, like genetic makeup and things like that, I'm 3/4 more feminine energy than I am masculine energy. I'm more feminine than I am, manly. I express that very openly, but it's in my, like, it's in my auric field, whatever, that I am, a much more feminine person. And I did grow up with lots of issues trying to express that side of me, or feeling like I had to express that side of me a certain kind of way, or doing certain kind of things. And by that, I mean, you know, how they tell, how there's, like, now there's metrosexual, right? Where there's a man who basically has self-care but still likes women. There's gay people. There's all this, like, there's so many different breakdowns for this. And I find it so funny because I don't understand why there has to be, like, why is there 20 different titles that basically say that a man has feminine energy and is nourishing their own feminine energy. There's like 20 different titles for that. Like, why is that such a wrong thing for that to happen? And we don't, like, if a woman becomes more emasculated, takes on more of a masculine role, takes on more things, takes charge of more things, they may be seen as like rude, but no one says that they're like, I don't know, they're ruining their lives basically. I never count that feeling of, and maybe this is like generational thing, where my generation, we see women doing stuff and we're like, oh yeah, keep going, blah blah. But I also noticed with this generation, and especially the generations like maybe before, like one or two before especially, but that it's a hard time for a man to be emotional. Like, why, and I don't even, but like it's just an example though, but like people were talking about Drake, like why he had to have like an emotional song, like because he's an emotional person probably, like he's, like it's a full thing. Like, why is it hard, or why is it seen as bad for men to express emotion? And I feel like that's also a lot to do with the displaying of the energy from the on the outside in your body and things like that. And what I mean by that is that men are meant to have like a certain body shape, a certain body standard, like a certain voice type. Like I would sing. This is gonna be funny. Well, I don't know if I even told the story on this podcast or not, to be honest. But if I have, y'all just gonna hear it again. But this is a demonstration of what I'm trying to talk about. So when I was younger, we had elective classes in our elementary school. So there was a music class, an art class, like gym, like you swap between them. My music teacher, for one, she used to have us like do different things and sing and blah 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 blah. I remember one instance real tough where she asked us to gather around her piano while she sang, or while she played and we sang. And I sing, normally if I were like to sing, like if I actually like put myself into it, I sing very, very high. And I was always like very ashamed of that because, again, in a black male body, singing with a like high feminine, like I want to reach opera tones, but like type voice, it's a mismatch, right? So I remember being there, and she stopped the thing, and she was like, excuse me, I asked for the people up here to be singing, just the three up here to be singing, not the like no girls in the background singing. And it was like, no, that's me. I'm like, this is me. This is just my voice. My voice sounds like that. I have a high pitched voice. It was shame, especially for them, because I think I was in like third or fourth grade. Like I was not an older kid. Like I was like a little kid, but that's my voice. And it's one of those things where like I went through, I guess, a lot of, I wanted to express that I had a feminine side within my body. I wanted to express my femininity within my essence. Like I wanted people. I'm I feel like I'm 3/4 feminine, right? So I always wanted people to understand that there was more feminine energy than masculine energy. Like, don't see me and think that I'm gonna be the person. Like, don't see me and expect me to start lifting weights in front of you, type thing. Like, don't expect that from me. Now, yes, I can do it, but don't expect it from me. Because there's so much of that energy of people be like expecting males to do this is that, and they don't expect, like, I don't know how to put this. Like, this may be just double standards and things. Like, say you're moving, right? People just expect the man to lift like the heaviest object or something like that. Now, to me, I'm over here thinking that if there's this woman over here who may embody more masculine energy or maybe stronger or buffer than me, why am I supposed to be the one who's lifting that thing instead of the woman who's like more equipped to do the position, of lifting the thing? So I feel like there's a big thing with this identity thing, right? A lot of people talk about that. A lot of people, it's been a whole thing of how you identify with. And I feel like, to me, I more identify with myself on an energetic level versus what my physical vessel looks like. And maybe that is what can be confusing to people. Like, I know for some people, they're trying to be nice, right? And they really want to be nice. They want to be, a considerate, and they may say something like, "Oh, like, like, like these are the people who come up to who are nice with it. Like, some people will ask you for your pronouns, things like that, and there's some people who will insist that you're some way, which I'm gonna get to in a second. But there's people who just see me and who automatically are like, okay, so you probably are not very masculine, are you? What do you go by? But I'm glad to see that it is much more of a thing to see males be able to in enact proper hygiene without being judged. Because I don't know if you guys remember this. This, to me, it happened, growing up, was that it was a whole different landscape around men were supposed to be the dirty, the slimy creatures, and then it was like, okay, because it didn't make sense to me, because it was like, why are men supposed to be these dirty, slimy creatures, and then you complain about them being dirty, slimy creatures, but they're supposed to be that. But it's like, you want them to be that way. Like, if they were to clean up, you would start talking shit about them too. So it was, so for me, it was like, why are we, why is it this way? Why is it like, either way it goes, there was something wrong here with this own, somebody having a male vessel with self-care. It was a very hard thing. And I know a lot of women have a hard time with a lot of trauma and stuff like this, but men also have a hard time with feeling comfortable within themselves, especially when it comes to an emotional level. Like, men have emotions, and I find that to be so weird that we equate these things with such even if it is like an energetic thing, the energy behind it doesn't, to me, equate to the gender, right? To me, you can, there's emotional men. Just because someone's a female doesn't mean they're automatically super emotional, or just because or just because there's a woman out there doesn't mean that she's super emotional either. There's very mass women, and there's very things like that. So as we have this big huge spectrum of different people who have different sort of makeups of energies and embodiments, and even physical attributes that show us their different energies and how they conflate them, it makes us wonder, why do we have such a need to label them? And I ask this only because, to me, if at the end of the day, when people are really trying to go through this, the label is important, and it is and it's not at the same time. It's important. I feel like it's important for me to be able to feel comfortable enough with be able to say something. Like, I know I'm a more effeminate male. I have more effeminate male energy. But I feel like it's a whole different thing, which is the part I really wanted to get to, was when people try to push their version of you on you when you're not, which is a very, this to me is the majority of this I see for gay males, right, is the pushing of it. I don't do certain mannerisms, okay? It's not even out of a hate thing. It's just out of it's not my natural being to operate in this particular way. So, and by that I mean, so there may be, I don't even know what they would do. Different people test me in different ways. This is why I bring this up, right? Like, different people are like, come out, come out, come out. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, aren't you, like, why are you hiding it? It's like, who's hiding it? Just like, no one was hiding anything. Like, or like, why, like, you hiding your sexuality? Like, no, I'm actually kind of open with it. In fact, it's odd to me, the people, like, I feel like if you pay attention to what I post or anything online, it's there. Um, it's there. The autosexual life, like, it's there. So, but I'm saying, as far as for like that, but that again is different than even the gender thing, because, and the reason why I say that is like, that is, to me, I see gender as like an identity based off of like my makeup of energy. Um, how is my energy coming across, whether male or female? Am I more of an emotional male person? Like, that's kind of, there's different people who identify in different ways, but that's kind of how I see stuff. Okay. Um, my thing with what we have for this, and it's not like a gripe or anything against whatever. I'm just like, I see why there's such a big, for me growing up, it was easy to confuse energies, right? Like, it's easy to look at people and treat them the same, whether or not you know what's between their legs or not. It was pretty easy. Like, growing up, you would see, even if, and this may, I don't want to be like too uncomfortable for some people, but like, girls grow boobs quicker than, some girls grow boobs quicker than others. And it's like, but you still know they're a female either way, or like, you still know like they're a person or whatever. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, you see these different people growing up all the time, so it's like you just automatically learn this way. And maybe this is because this is a generation, and these generations coming up, we're growing up with more diversity than before, that we're able to have these issues less off, or be able to speak about these things in this type of way, or even like look at these people at this type of in this type of way. But I can see where even before, like, it was never, like, it's nothing new under the sun. It's just some reason, somehow, people got shamed into not being who they were, right? If you look at all these ancient stuff, ancient Greeks, ancient Romans, ancient Egyptians, ancient, all these mythologies, they were gay. People weren't that tied to certain things. There were gay people. There were people who identified with this thing. There were people with this body shape. Like, they were people who you would think, like, people who exuded a feminine energy, but they were in a male body, or people who exhumed the masculine energy in a female body, like the Amazons. Like, they were very strong and dominant, robust, like all these things you would think of the masculine energy, but they were very, in that energy, like that woman type of energy, I guess. That's what I consider it to be. But like, you see, like, these people were like this, and all of a sudden it's like, somehow, some way, we got shamed into hiding ourselves, or hiding who we, or how we feel, everything like that. Like, they like made us into drones. They, like, somewhere along the line, they started like droning and trying to condition certain things into people. And now with this diversity, of course, we're seeing different things, but it's nothing new under the sun that people might identify in different ways. So, I'm just telling you how I identify. I don't know how you do. That's up to you to figure out what you gotta do with your own life, or how your energy mixes, or whatever feels most comfortable to you. But for me personally, I guess what I've always come to get annoyed by is that people try to push a narrative onto me as to who they think that I am, and if I'm not supplying them with that narrative, they get mad. So, example, I don't know. Like, I feel like people want me, like, I'm like, I've never done drag. I'll say it like that. I've never done drag. but people like assume I have to be like, or I don't even do makeup. Like I need to learn how to. It probably would be fun to like be able to like make art out of myself or something, but like I don't, but people assume I do. You know what I'm saying? Or that people will push that I do, or people will be like, you have to, or and they think I'm lying or something if I say that. And like, I'm not. Like, what reason would I have to lie about that? Like, I've gotten that throughout a whole bunch of, like, you can feel it in the energy. Like, I don't believe you. You have to. Like, aren't you a gay? Don't you? Like, it's it's that. Like, that felt like, because I know I exude some feminine energy. I know I have emotions. I know I'm not, you know, I get it, but that doesn't necessarily mean I do those things. Not that I'm against any of the people who do those things, but I haven't. And I personally will get offended when I feel like people are told me that, oh, if I feel this way, or if I'm expressing emotions, then that means I have to be all the way on this one side of the spectrum just because I'm a little bit past where you want me to be. Like, if I'm two notches past where you want me to be on like the feminine spectrum, all of a sudden, like, you think I'm like all the way at the end of the thing, like it doesn't it doesn't equate to me why people jump to a conclusion based off such tiny bits of information. So when I'm talking about this, right, I'm looking at my cats, and I wonder, like, how is it that she keeps doing like, how is it that there's the opposite one, right? Like, calling the male the female and the female the male. Like, why? Like, to me, it's just I learned the cat, and then that's I think, like, my one cat, Sapphire, I think Sapphire female, that's it, and I move on. But like, it's so funny to me that, like, dealing with her or seeing her, that she had, like, every time she looks at my cat, it's a guessing game. Like, oh, I don't know which one is this one. Like, I'm like, that's so weird. Like, but this woman doesn't bond with animals like that. She doesn't like animals, so that's like a thing. Like, but it's just really, really funny to me. So, oh, excuse me. Yes, I do. Okay. It's like, we don't really need to be pushing this stuff on people, as far as for like where like their energies and stuff. It is a thing, like, people need to balance it within themselves. I'm not gonna say that's not, but as far as for excuse me, battling the projections, right? Because I've got a lot of people like project onto me what they think I should be, or what they think that I should be looking like or doing, and that really became harmful. And it became harmful not in the, oh, I'm like, it just annoyed because someone's telling me what to do. But it was like, well, damn, why do I always have to be this? Why am I supposed to be this? Why am I supposed to be that? Why is me not being enough? Why is me not sitting here being enough? Like, do I need, like, it's like, oh, I bet it was like, to a certain point, I'm like, do I need makeup? Should I put makeup on? Like, would that make you accept me more? Like, I know I grew up feeling like I wasn't straight enough, wasn't gay enough. Like, I wasn't masculine enough, wasn't feminine enough. I was too in the middle. And it didn't make sense. Like, I didn't get along. Like, I'm not a sports watcher. I'm not. It ain't like, it ain't bad. It's just, okay, I do sometimes. It's entertainment, There's there's lots of different forms of entertainment out there. There's books, there's movies, there's television shows, there's lots of forms of entertainment out there. So why is it like we define people by what they choose? Like, if someone chooses like scary movies, like, or There's some people who choose rock, like black people choosing rock music. We like there's that's a whole other stigma. There's lots of these little stigmas and things like that of, especially for like, I feel like black males and for black women as well, but I know from my perspective, I'm speaking on black men at the moment, like that have a whole bunch of different like qualifications, not even qualifications, but they have a whole bunch of things placed upon them that they need to, oh, you're not supposed to be doing this or this and this and this and this and this and this, right? Or like shame upon them for doing different things, right? And by an older community, like, this is not the way, we're not used to seeing people do this, but then they're used to seeing it, but they're not, because they remember like a couple people who did do it, but because it's not everybody, it's such a confusing thing, like, and it's not even that, it's not it's what is it, mental, maybe like the mental fear of not being able to do these certain things or express these different sides of ourselves. But it's gotten kind of old. I think that's why a lot of these things have not worked out. Like, you see a lot of people have not had like successful things or even as many successful relationships, and it's just, I feel like it's just because it's not there's not enough balance. Like, people aren't happy enough within themselves to be with other people the way they really want to. They don't, and it's not that they don't want to be happy within themselves. It's just because it's doing too much or dealing with too much, right? We're trying to, I fully believe, whether you believe this or not, I believe that I'm a spiritual being inside a human vessel right now, which is another part of the gender identity thing, which is like, my spirit is more of a feminine spirit, and I'm in a masculine body. That's kind of more how I see myself. Like, I'm more of a feminine spirit or a feminine soul inside of a masculine meat suit, or like a male suit, if that makes sense. I know that's like, and I'm not trying to like comfort transgender people, because I know lots of times it's like they will want the outside to match the inside, and I'm definitely, I understand that for people, and things like that. I guess what I'm trying to say with this is that because I look at myself as such of a way like this, right? Where I look at myself as like, I have a duality, and I'm comfortable with having the duality. I'm comfortable being versatile. I'm comfortable being able to like have a lower voice and have a higher voice sometimes. But like, or I'm comfortable with not having to do like the most male thing possible or the most masculine thing possible, that it may be intimidating, or I don't know, but it doesn't have to be. Most of these people live their lives in that way. The only difference is that, we don't have as many expectations for some of these old people, like, or some of these other people, and especially even for white people. And I'm not trying to like be racist in any way, shape, or form, but I will notice there'll be a lot of like more feminine white dudes who get accepted versus like feminine black dudes or darker skinned people. And I always wonder what that is too. Like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not colorist or anything like that, but I do notice these things. They do tend to happen. Like, some like people take a white guy crying more than they take a black. They have such a hyper masculinity for not only black people in general, but especially for black males, that it really is like it is crumbling to the psyche. Because we know we have emotions. We know we're supposed to be like letting things out and not bottling things up and expressing anger and things like that. But being called such like animals, brutes, things like that, if we do, it makes it hard to do that. And it makes it hard to really fully embrace yourself and your different sides and different all the forms of your own energy. And I know this is kind of like going a little bit different, but this is why I wanted to make this, because I think about this in a way that's so I don't see a lot of other people thinking about it. Okay, this is how I think about this. I think about it more of it like an amalgamation of energy, a mixture of energy. We're all mixtures of energy at some point, you know, and how does yours mix together? Where do you put yours to best use? So I mean, I don't know. This one might be short. I just really want to like put that out there. I just want to share my own thing, what I've learned, unlearned, all that kind of stuff. I want people, understand it's not a scary thing to embrace things, but also leave you with some good questions. Ask yourself why some of these things happen or go on in your life. I am going to get a shadow spell card from my deck. The shadow spell. It's my affirmation deck. You can get it on my site, thelivingshadow.me. Thelivingshadow.me. So these are just some magical affirmations for every occasion. Whatever we need to hear is going to pop out. Okay. And I gain maturity and understanding from every situation. So that's the affirmation we're saying today. I gain maturity and understanding from every situation. I gain maturity and understanding from every situation. Now, I do have this whole deck full of cards that say affirmations just like this. It's the Shadow Spells deck. It's available on my site, thelivingshadow.me. Do come check that out, along with the YouTube channels. If you are going to find this podcast on this YouTube channel, the Shadow Cast podcast, then you'll see my other channels. There's Subliminals for Regenerative Reiki healing through sound healing. There are my tarot channels where I do my intuitive messages as I get psychic messages. Do look into those. Also, my Devonairé channel with the accent mark over the E, where I just do my vlog channel. It's not really anything that's special there, but if you want to check that out, please do check it out. And thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Be blessed out there. Bye. And so I got guac. I've been yearning for guac and cheese all day. Oh. Please let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. To all my people out there, whatever you identify as, especially my non-binary people who kind of, be blessed out there. Assassination.